day to all of you. Today, we will be working on the 46th creation in our lesson series. First, click on the plus mark at the top of the screen and open a new tab. Next, type thunkable.com in the address bar and click the enter button. Now you have entered the Thunkable website. Click the login button at the top corner and log in to your Thunkable account. Now again, click on the plus mark at the top of the screen, open another tab and visit the dpcode.lk website. Click on lesson number 284. Click the Start Project button here. Now you have entered the project. We created the part of a chat app in the previous lesson. Today, we are going to create the second part of this app. I have now finished adding the first part of the chat app that we created in the last lesson into our design. If anyone hasn't watched our 45th lesson, check it out using the thunkable.com website now. From here on, we will add the code to that design. See, in the previous lesson, we designed the app as needed. The 3 screens we created are displaying like this. Okay, next is to create the code. But before that, let's see what happens in this app. Screen 1 will display when the chat app is opened. In a few moments, screen 2 will be displayed automatically. Screen 3 should be displayed after you give the username and the room key in this text input and click the Start Chat button. Next, the room key we gave will be displayed on the room key label in screen 3. And below here, we can type a message and send. The messages we send should be displayed in this list viewer. So let's create the code. I will select screen 1 and go to the Blocks tab. We need 3 variables for this. First, let's create these variables. I drag a initialize app variable name to code block here from variables. The name of the first variable is given as username. Since no text has been assigned in this at the beginning, a null code block under logic is connected here. Let's duplicate this code block again for the next variable. I right-click on this code block like this and give duplicate. Now, let's change the variable name of the duplicated code block as room key. Next, 3 more variables are required to store the chat. We will create a list for this. Click variables again as before and drag and initialize app variable name to code block like this. Let's name this variable as chats. I am attaching an empty list code block here from lists. Next, let's display screen 2 few moments after screen 1 is loaded. I will drag a when screen 1 opens code block from under screen 1 here. Now let's connect a wait 1 seconds code block from control. Change it to 3 seconds here. Next, let's drag the navigate to screen 1 code block under control below the wait 3 seconds code block. Click on this arrow and change to screen 2. Okay, now the code for screen 1 has been created. Next is the second screen. I will select screen 2. When the button start in screen 2 is clicked, the text given in the text input needs to be assigned in the variables we have created. After we click button start, drag a when button start click code block here. Now let's drag a set app variable username to code block under variables into the when button start click code block. I will link a text input username's text code block under text input username here. Now we will assign the username given in the text input username in the username variable. This way, we will assign the room key given in the text input room key in the room key variable. For that, I will duplicate this code block. Drag the duplicated code block below the set app variable username code block this way. Now let's change the name of the variable here as app variable room key and the text input as text input room key. Let's assume that the user has not given the username and the room key in this text input. In such cases, the alert "Make sure you have entered fully" needs to be displayed. Let's drag an if code block in the control into this when button start click code block. I will connect a code block with the equal sign from logic for the condition here. Connect a null code block under logic to the right side of the equal sign and a code block with the and sign under logic to the left side like this. Now connect an app variable username code block under variables to the left side of this and sign. Also, let's connect an app variable room key code block in variables to the right side. Okay, Here, we checked whether the value has not been assigned in the username and the room key variables at this point. If a value has not been assigned, the user has not provided the username or the room key. So, let's display the alert. I will drag the call alert once show code block under alert 1 into the if code block like this. Right now, screen 3 needs to be loaded if the username and the room key have been given in the text input. Let's drag a navigate to screen 1 code block under control away from this if code block. I will click on this arrow and change it to screen 3. Now we have created the code for screen 2. Next, let's go to screen 3. Before creating this code, let's go back to the Design tab and check what needs to happen in this screen. When screen 3 opens, the room key given in screen 2 needs to be displayed in the label room key above. At the same time, data will get entered in the real-time DB1 database. Next, when we type a message in this text input message and click the send button, the message we send needs to be saved in the real-time DB1 database. Not only that, the message we send should also display in this list viewer. Finally, when we click the end button, the data getting saved in the real-time DB1 will stop and screen 1 will be displayed again. Now let's prepare the code for this. I will go back to the Blocks tab. Click screen 3 and when screen 3 opens, drag a code block here. Since the real-time DB1 database needs to be active, let's drag a call real-time DB1 add listener code block under real-time DB1 into this code block like this. Let's connect an app variable room key code block in variables to the key. Since the room key needs to be displayed in the room key label, drag a set label room keys text to code block under the label room key into the call real-time DBs1 add listener code block like this. Now connect an app variable room key code block like this in the variables here. Okay, next is the instance to click the send button. I will drag a when button send click code block under button send here. Now click real-time DB1 and drag call real-time DB1 save code block into this when button send click code block. Now, when we click the send button, the messages will start to get saved in this real-time DB1 database. But the data that needs to be saved in this database was not specified. I will connect an app variable room key code block in the variables for the key here. Next, let's connect a join code block under text for the value here. Here, the message needs to be displayed in front of the user's name. For example, if Joey sends a message saying hi, the message will be displayed with the name Joey hi. It will not only get displayed but also will get saved in the real-time DB1 database. Let's prepare the code block under value here in order to save it in this way. I will drag this hello code block into the recycle bin and remove it from here. Now click the settings icon in front of join and drag another item code block into the join code block. Let's click the settings icon again and remove this box. Okay, now the join code block got created like this. Here, let's link an app variable username code block in variables. Remove the word world from the world code block and type a colon here. Below that, connect a text input messages text code block under text input. Good. Now we have prepared the value as username message. Now, this value is saved in real-time DB1 database. The next thing is to display these messages in the list viewer. For this, I will drag a when real-time DB1 database changed code block under real-time DB1 here. Before displaying these messages in the list viewer, let's store them in the chats list that we created. I will drag an in list insert at last as code block under list into the when real-time DB1 data changed code block like this. Now let's connect an app variable chat code block in variables to this plan. Also, instead of this ABC code block, I will drag a value code block that is connected to the when real-time DB1 data changed code block like this. Okay, now the data saved in the database as the value is assigned in the chats list. The next thing is to display the data assigned in the chat list in the list viewer 1. This way, I will drag a set list viewers 1 text item to code block under the list viewer 1 below the in list code block. Now, let's connect an app variable chats code block in variables here. Okay. Now the only thing left to do is click the end button. I will drag a when button end click code block under button end here. There is no need to save the data in the database once you click the end button. So I will drag a call real-time DB1's remove listener code block under real-time DB1 here. Let's connect an app variable room key code block under variables for the key. Next, screen 1 needs to be displayed again. I will drag a navigate to screen 1 code block under control into the call real-time DB1's remover listener code block like this. Okay, now let's click screen 1 again. I will click the live test button. Now, let's click on the preview as responsive web page here. You can see that our app opened in a separate tab. Now go back to the Thunkable tab and click on preview as responsive web page. Now the app opened in another tab. Okay, now screen 1 is loaded and automatically after 3 seconds, screen 2 is loaded like this. Here, I will give the username as Joy and the room key as 123. Let's click the Start Chat button now. Now go to the next tab and give the username as Shireen and add the room key as 123. Now I will click the Start button here. As you can see, in both tabs, screen 3 has got loaded. Also, the room key we gave is displayed at the top of the screen. Now again, let's type a message here. I will type hi. Now click the send button. The message was not sent, right? Usually when the message is sent, the text input is empty and the sent message is displayed at the top of the screen. But there is a small issue here. Let's go back to the Thunkable app. I will click this close button and go back to the design tab. Click on the project name in the box showing components and go to the app settings. I will remove the API key and the database URL which we gave when we connected the Firebase data source from here. Okay. Now let's click the live test button again. I will close the previously opened tabs. Let's click on preview as responsive web page as before. Our app opened in a separate tab. Now let's go back to the Thunkable tab and click on preview as responsive web page. Now the app opened in another tab. Okay, here I will give the username as Joy and the room key as 123. Let's click on the Start Chat button now. Now go to the next tab and give the username as Shireen and the room key as 123. Now click on the Start Chat button. In this way, screen 3 was loaded in both tabs. Now let's type a message here. I will type hi. Now click the send button. Okay, the message was sent. The message with the name of the sender is displayed here. Let's go to the next tab. The previous sender's message is also displayed here. Now let's type as hey here and give send. The message sent with the name of the second sender is displayed like this. Good. Now we have finished creating the chat app. I hope you little ones were able to complete this. WhatsApp your design to me on the phone number note 7681252244. Tell your friends about the design as well. Check out this app to send it to me as well as to send it to your friends. And one more thing, join the DP Coding Club Telegram group. Try to be the DP Code Champ Best of the Week once every week. Stay connected with us. Also, another thing, join our DP Coding Club and now you can start a DP Coding Club in your school as well. We are ready to give you all the guidance for that. If you are interested in starting a DP Coding Club in any school where computer labs are available, please send a request to the principal of your school to the email address info@dpcc.lk. Okay, let's meet again with another interesting lesson through DP Coding School. Have a nice day.